What's stopping you right now from taking action? Is it fear, doubt? Or maybe you're simply waiting for the right moment, the right feeling, the perfect spark of motivation. We all know that feeling, the overwhelming desire to start something, to push forward, to change. But it's almost as if you're waiting for the universe to give you a sign, for motivation to suddenly hit you like a wave. But here's a painful truth: that wave, it's not coming. At least, not the way you think it will. You've been waiting, haven't you? Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the stars to align, waiting for motivation to show up like an old friend, to sweep you off your feet and push you into action. And yet, nothing happens. Day after day, the same cycle. You think, tomorrow I'll start, or next week I'll be ready. You convince yourself that all you need is a little more time, a little more energy, a little more focus, and then you'll finally do it. But what you don't realize is that waiting is the very thing that's keeping you stuck. That feeling of anticipation, it's the quiet killer of progress. You see, motivation doesn't just appear when you want it. It doesn't show up like a magical force at the perfect moment. The truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves, it rises and falls like the tide. Sometimes it's there, and other times it's nowhere to be found. It's an unreliable partner in your journey, and if you base your progress on waiting for motivation, you're setting yourself up for failure. But here's the good news. You don't need motivation to take action. In fact, action creates motivation. That's the secret most people never tell you. The key to success is not waiting for the perfect moment to feel motivated. It's moving in spite of the fact that you don't feel like it. You can't wait for the stars to align because they might never align. But what happens when you take action anyway? That's when the magic begins. That's when the momentum builds. When the excitement kicks in, when you start to see results. Here's something powerful you need to understand. The hardest part is always the first step. It's not the big goals or the grand vision that's daunting. It's simply starting. That's the real struggle. You look at the mountain ahead of you and think, how can I possibly climb that? But what if I told you that the mountain doesn't seem so tall once you take the first step? What if the very act of moving forward breaks down that mountain into manageable pieces? When you push through the resistance and take that first action, something incredible happens. You break the cycle of inaction. You stop being a passive observer of your life and start being an active participant. It's not about waiting for the perfect motivation. It's about deciding right now that you are going to take action, no matter how small it may seem. And in that small action, you'll find the momentum to take the next step and then the next. Before you know it, you'll be moving faster than you ever thought possible. Now, let's talk about the cost of inaction. The longer you wait, the more you'll realize that time doesn't wait for you. Every day that you put off taking action is a day you lose. The regret you'll feel when you look back and realize how much time you wasted is far more painful than the discomfort of starting right now. Time is your most precious asset, and every second you waste waiting for motivation is a second you'll never get back. But there's something else you need to know. The moment you force yourself to act, no matter how small, you'll feel a shift inside you. It's like a spark. It may start small, but it grows. Suddenly, your fears don't feel so big. Your doubts begin to fade. You're no longer stuck. You're no longer waiting. You're moving, and movement creates power. It creates confidence. It creates energy. It makes everything else easier. So why wait? Why keep telling yourself that tomorrow is the day you'll start? Tomorrow is never promised. It's time to stop waiting for motivation, because motivation won't come on your terms. It's time to take action now. Action is the force that propels you forward, and that's the only thing that's going to bring you closer to the life you want. If you're ready to break free from the chains of inaction, to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating your own, then it's time to step into your power. Force yourself to take action and the rest will follow. The truth is, starting is the hardest part, and it's because of something deeply wired into your brain. It's called inertia, the tendency to stay where you are, to avoid change. Your brain is designed to protect you, to keep you safe, and that means it resists movement, especially when it's into the unknown. But here's what you need to understand, that resistance is nothing more than your brain's way of keeping you in your comfort zone. And the comfort zone? It's a prison. It may feel safe, but it's also where dreams go to die. You've felt it, haven't you? The weight of that resistance, the pull of your own mind telling you, stay where you are. Don't risk it, don't push yourself. It's the feeling of wanting to move forward but being held back by an invisible force. But here's the thing. The only way to break free is to act. You cannot wait for the resistance to disappear. It won't. It's a part of you. But what you can do is overcome it, step by step, moment by moment. There's a powerful truth you need to embrace. The moment you take that first step, everything changes. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. The moment you decide to act, you shift the balance. You move from inaction to action, from fear to courage, from being stuck to being free. It's not about giant leaps. It's about the small, seemingly insignificant steps that compound over time into something extraordinary. Every step, no matter how small, is a victory. And you don't have to wait for motivation to come and lift you up. It's not about finding that spark. It's about creating it yourself. The most powerful thing you can do is to commit to action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because once you move, once you break that inertia, your brain shifts. It begins to adapt. You get stronger, faster, more capable. And each step forward makes the next one easier. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to start. But once you push through, everything becomes a little more effortless. Think about this. Action rewires your brain. It doesn't just change your external world, it transforms how you think, how you feel, how you see yourself. The longer you stay stuck in your head, the longer you delay your dreams. The longer you hold off, the more you feed that fear, that doubt, that voice that tells you you're not ready, not good enough, not capable. But when you take action, even if it's just a small one, you prove that voice wrong. You prove to yourself that you are capable, that you are ready, and that you are in control. There's something incredibly powerful about movement. Not just physical movement, but mental and emotional movement as well. The act of starting something, no matter how small, is like turning on a switch inside your brain. It's like flicking a light in a dark room. All of a sudden, the shadows don't seem so big. The obstacles you once saw as insurmountable now seem like a network error occurred. Please check your connection and try again. If this issue persists, please contact us through our help center at help.openai.com. What you need to realize now is that the fear you feel, the doubt you carry, it's all part of the process. It's not something that will magically disappear if you wait long enough. It's there for a reason, and that reason is simple. Your growth lies just beyond your comfort zone. The fear you feel, it's a signal that you're on the edge of something bigger, something greater. If you push through it, you'll discover strength within you that you never thought possible. Action is the key to unlocking that strength. Every time you choose to move, even when you don't feel like it, you reinforce a belief in yourself. You show yourself that you are capable of more than you imagined. The more you act, the more you expand your boundaries. And with each boundary you cross, you become a little bit more of the person you were always meant to be. This is the power of small actions compounded over time. Every step, every single decision to move forward chips away at the limits you've placed on yourself. And those limits, they're all self-imposed. You've heard the phrase, fake it till you make it. But it's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about showing up, taking action, and letting those actions shape you into the person you want to be. It's about doing it even when you don't feel like it, even when your mind tells you it's too hard, too uncomfortable, too risky. Because the truth is, comfort never leads to greatness. Comfort keeps you stuck. It keeps you from discovering the depths of your potential. It keeps you from reaching the life you were meant for. When you step out of that comfort zone, when you choose to act despite the fear, something amazing happens. You build resilience. You become mentally and emotionally stronger. The more times you act in the face of fear, the less power that fear has over you. It becomes a distant memory, a shadow that fades as you continue to step forward. And with each step, you build momentum, a powerful force that propels you forward with a speed and intensity you never thought possible. This momentum is not just a byproduct of action, it's a magnetic force that pulls you toward your goals. It makes the impossible seem possible, the difficult feel manageable, and the overwhelming become simple. Momentum creates confidence, and that confidence becomes a tool you wield to keep pushing forward. The more you move, the more natural it becomes to keep moving. And soon you'll find yourself in a rhythm, a flow where action becomes second nature and results follow with ease. But it doesn't stop there. There's something even more powerful about this process, the power of identity. When you consistently take action, you are no longer just a person who takes action. You become the person who is action. You shape your identity through your choices. Every time you act, you reinforce the idea that you are someone who does what needs to be done. You are someone who does not wait for motivation, but creates it. You are someone who moves, who challenges themselves, who pushes boundaries. The truth is, identity is the ultimate motivator. When you see yourself as someone capable of taking consistent action, you no longer need external sources of motivation. Your actions become the proof of who you are. And when you act in alignment with that identity, the universe responds. Opportunities show up, doors open, and you begin to attract the people, circumstances, and resources you need to move forward. But there's a catch. This only works if you are consistent. One action is not enough. Consistency is what separates the dreamers from the doers. You can't expect to change your life with one burst of action. It's the daily, repeated efforts that lead to transformation. It's the commitment to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when the world seems to be against you. The small, consistent actions will eventually lead to the big results. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about deciding that today you will take that next step, no matter how small it seems. The more you act, the more you start to see your progress, and every small victory fuels your belief in your ability to keep going. The journey becomes less about the destination and more about the person you're becoming along the way. Here's the key. You are already capable. You are capable of more than you realize. The fear and doubt you feel, they are temporary. But the person you become when you force yourself to take action, that person is unstoppable. The more you step into that identity, the stronger you'll become. The person you've always aspired to be is already inside you, waiting for you to take the first step. And once you start, once you push through that initial resistance, there's no turning back. You'll look at your past self and realize how far you've come, how much stronger you've become, and how much closer you are to the life you've always dreamed of. So, ask yourself again, what's stopping you? Is it the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty? The longer you wait, the more power you give to those feelings. The longer you stay stuck in indecision, the more control they have over your life. But if you choose to act, if you force yourself to move, you take that power back. Action is the antidote to fear, and the only way forward is to choose it. Now, you are ready. You've always been ready. Now it's time to move. The deeper you dive into the power of action, the more you realize that it's not about making huge leaps every time. It's about taking the small steps, the seemingly insignificant moves that eventually lead you to greatness. Your brain may tell you that these small efforts won't matter, that they won't move the needle. But that's the illusion. Small actions, compounded over time, create massive change. It's the principle of compounding momentum, and it's one of the most powerful forces in your life. Think about the most difficult challenge you're facing right now. It seems daunting, doesn't it? Overwhelming, almost impossible to tackle. The gap between where you are and where you want to be seems like an insurmountable mountain. But here's the secret. You don't need to climb the entire mountain at once. You just need to take one step, and then another, and another. With each step, that mountain doesn't get smaller. You get stronger, you get smarter, you get more resilient. And before you know it, what once seemed impossible becomes something you know you can handle. This is where the power of the 2-minute rule comes in. It's simple but transformative. Commit to something for just 2 minutes. 2 minutes of effort. 2 minutes of focus. 2 minutes of doing what you've been putting off. What happens is profound. Those first 2 minutes get you into motion, and once you're moving, you realize it's not as hard as you thought. momentum begins to build. And soon 2 minutes turns into 10, 10 turns into 30, and before you know it, you've made real progress. When you start with something small, it disarms the fear. It reduces the resistance. The task doesn't feel like a huge mountain anymore. It feels like a series of manageable steps, but that's not all. In those first 2 minutes, something else happens. You prove to yourself that you can do it. You begin to break the cycle of self-doubt, the cycle of feeling like you're not good enough or that you're too far behind. You prove to your brain that action is possible, and you begin to rewire your identity in the process. The more you act, the more you identify as someone who takes action. And when you see yourself as someone who moves, your mind stops questioning and starts looking for more ways to act. This shift in mindset is key to breaking free from inaction. When you force yourself to act, even in the smallest way, you change the conversation inside your head. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start telling yourself, "I am doing this." This subtle shift is empowering. It flips the script. It turns you from someone who is paralyzed by fear into someone who is in control. And that control isn't about manipulating external circumstances. It's about mastering your own actions. It's about choosing to act, choosing to move, no matter what your mind tells you. When you create this momentum, your goals, once daunting and distant, begin to pull toward you. You'll start seeing things differently. You'll start realizing that everything you need to succeed is already within reach, that every small step is an opportunity to prove your strength. The work doesn't seem so overwhelming when you break it down, and the more you do it, the more the actions become ingrained in who you are. You don't need to summon willpower or motivation from some outside source. The action becomes the habit, and the habit becomes your new identity. And this is where real power lies, in consistency. It's easy to take action once. It's easy to take action when you're feeling motivated. But the real magic happens when you keep showing up day after day, no matter what. That's where true transformation happens. It's the power of showing up even when you don't feel like it. Even when the results aren't immediate, even when you're uncertain or tired or frustrated. Showing up, again and again, is what separates the ones who succeed from the ones who give up. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you have to be flawless in every effort. It just means you don't quit. You keep moving, even when things don't go as planned. You keep moving even when you fail. You keep moving because every step, no matter how small, is a victory. And that victory compounds. Each small victory you achieve reinforces the belief that you are capable, that you can handle whatever comes your way. You start to build a bank of confidence, a deep well of trust in yourself that no failure or setback can drain. Now, let's talk about the reward for all of this. The reward isn't just the goal. It's not just about the destination. The reward is the person you become along the way. The reward is in the growth, in the transformation, in the resilience that you build with every single action. It's in the strength you develop, the confidence that comes from proving to yourself that you can show up, even when it's hard, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. That's where the real power lies. And here's something important to understand. The most successful people in the world didn't start with all the answers. They didn't start with perfect plans or perfect conditions. What they did have was an unshakable commitment to action. They knew that action, no matter how imperfect, was always better than inaction. They knew that every single step they took, even if it was small, moved them closer to their goal, and they were willing to trust in that process. The same is true for you. You don't need to wait for everything to align perfectly. You don't need to wait for all the pieces to fall into place. The only thing you need to do is start. And then, once you start, keep going. Because with every step, you are rewriting your story. Every step is a declaration that you are not defined by your fears, your doubts, or your past. You are defined by the actions you take. And when you take those actions, no matter how small, you are building the life you've always dreamed of. So, take that first step, and then the next, and then the next. Because your future is waiting, and it's being shaped by the actions you choose to take today. You might be wondering, what happens when the progress is slow? What happens when I take action but the results aren't immediate? That's a valid question. It's something everyone faces. It's the challenge of delayed gratification. When you're working hard, taking action, but the outcomes don't come quickly, it's easy to feel like it's not worth it. It's easy to question if you're on the right path. But here's the truth you need to understand. Every step forward counts, even when you can't see the results yet. You see, growth isn't always visible in the beginning. The seeds you plant don't sprout overnight. The progress you make may not be evident at first, but it's there. In every small action, you are laying the foundation for something greater. It might not be obvious now, but trust me, your efforts are stacking up. Every time you act, you are changing something within you. You're building mental toughness, resilience, and discipline. And with each action, no matter how small, you are laying the groundwork for the big breakthroughs that will come when the time is right. The key is to trust the process, even when the results aren't immediate. You don't see the roots growing beneath the surface, but they are. Your actions are like the roots of a tree, hidden from view but incredibly powerful. They are strengthening your foundation, giving you the strength to grow taller and stronger as time goes on. And once those roots are established, nothing can stop you. This is where many people fall short. They stop before the results show up. They give up too soon. They think that because they don't see immediate success, they must be doing something wrong. But the truth is, the results will always come. They always do for those who keep going. The longer you stay committed, the closer you get to the breakthrough. That's the secret that separates those who succeed from those who don't. The willingness to keep pushing when it feels like nothing is happening. But let's dive deeper. Why does it feel so hard to stay committed when you can't see the payoff right away? It's because of something called instant gratification bias, the human tendency to want quick rewards. We've all felt it. We live in a world of instant results. We send a text and get a reply almost immediately. We watch a video, and the entertainment is delivered instantly. So when we put in the work but don't see instant results, it's easy to get frustrated. But here's the crucial point. Real success isn't built on instant gratification. Real success is built on the long, hard grind. It's about doing the work even when no one is watching, even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, delayed gratification is the secret to lasting success. It's the ability to resist the urge for quick rewards in favor of long-term fulfillment. It's the ability to keep moving forward, even when the outcome isn't immediate, knowing that every single action you take is an investment in your future. The discomfort you feel now, the effort you put in, is what will pay off later. And the reward won't just be the success you achieve, it will be the person you become in the process. Think about it. The person you are today is a result of the decisions you made yesterday. The habits you have, the mindset you carry, the confidence you hold, it's all a reflection of your past actions. And the person you'll be tomorrow? That's determined by the actions you take today. Every moment you choose to act, every time you push through the discomfort, you are shaping your future. You are shaping the person you are becoming. And that future is more incredible than you can even imagine right now. You may not see it, but every time you take action, you are moving toward the person you are meant to be. You are growing into a version of yourself that is capable of achieving things you once thought were impossible. That's the beauty of consistent action. The more you act, the more you evolve. And before long, the things that once seemed out of reach will feel like they were always meant for you. This is where the power of self-discipline comes into play. It's not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about deciding every single day that you will show up for yourself. Self-discipline is the ability to push yourself to take action even when you don't feel like it. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the work, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels like no one is noticing. When you develop self-discipline, you develop the ability to make yourself do the work, regardless of how you feel. You stop relying on external motivation to get you started. Instead, you tap into your own inner drive. You realize that the true power lies in your ability to act, not because you feel like it, but because you've committed to doing whatever it takes to get where you want to go. And this is where you start to create momentum. This is where the magic happens. Because when you show up every day, when you push yourself to take that next step, the momentum becomes your ally. The grind becomes easier. The obstacles become smaller. And the success you're working for, it becomes inevitable. And the best part? Self-discipline doesn't just help you achieve your goals, it transforms your life. It gives you control over your time, your energy, and your focus. It shifts you from being reactive to being proactive. You stop waiting for things to happen, and you start making things happen. That's the power of action. That's the power of consistently showing up no matter what. So, let's make this simple. Keep moving forward, even when the results aren't obvious. Keep taking small actions every day. Keep showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. And remember this, the person you are becoming is far more powerful than the person you were yesterday. With every action you take, you are one step closer to the life you were meant to lead. And every step, no matter how small, is a victory that builds upon itself. So act now and act again tomorrow. Keep pushing forward because your breakthrough is closer than you think. You've made it this far. And let me tell you, you are stronger than you think. The hardest part is often not the doing, but the belief that you can do it. So many people fail before they even begin, not because they lack ability, but because they lack belief in themselves. They doubt their capacity, they hesitate, and they second guess. But here's what you need to realize. Doubt is natural. It's part of the process. But it is not your destiny. It's merely a fleeting emotion, an obstacle that can be conquered by action. The moment you stop doubting yourself and choose to believe that you are capable, that's when the magic happens. The reason people don't take action is often because they fear failure. They're afraid of messing up, of not being good enough, of falling short. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every successful person has failed. They've stumbled, fallen, and made mistakes. What separates them from the ones who give up is this: they keep going. They understand that failure is nothing more than a lesson, a stepping stone that takes them closer to their goals. You cannot succeed without first experiencing failure. It's simply not possible. Think about it. Every mistake you make is an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a chance to improve. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. The most successful people are those who failed the most, because with each failure, they become more resilient, more capable, more powerful. So, instead of fearing failure, embrace it. Let it fuel you. Let it be the fire that propels you forward. The real question is, how long are you willing to hold on to your dreams? How much are you willing to sacrifice? How much are you willing to endure in order to achieve them? Because success, true success, doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes persistence. It takes a relentless commitment to the journey. And while it's easy to start, it's much harder to stay committed. Consistency is the ultimate differentiator. What happens when the excitement fades? What happens when the initial burst of energy wears off and the real work begins? This is where many people quit. They start off with passion, with enthusiasm, but when the challenges appear, when the results don't come as quickly as they expect, they give up. But those who succeed are the ones who keep going when the passion fades. They know that success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. The key to staying committed is to remember why you started. You've got to connect with your deeper purpose, the reason you want to succeed. Whether it's financial freedom, personal growth, helping others, or simply becoming the best version of yourself, you've got to hold on to that vision. Keep that vision in your mind at all times, especially on the days when it feels hard, when the progress feels slow. Because if your vision is strong enough, it will pull you through the tough times. It will push you when you don't feel like moving. But here's another truth. You don't have to wait for motivation. The problem with relying on motivation is that it's fleeting. It comes in bursts, and it can disappear just as quickly as it arrives. Motivation is great when it's there, but discipline is what keeps you going when it's not. Discipline is what allows you to keep showing up even when you're tired, even when you're discouraged, even when it feels like the world is working against you. And the best part? Discipline is something you can build. Every time you choose to act, even when you don't feel like it, You build discipline. You strengthen your ability to follow through, to do what you said you would do no matter what. Discipline is the habit of action. It's the ability to move forward when the emotional energy isn't there, when the world is telling you to stop. And the more you strengthen it, the more you build momentum. Momentum that can carry you through the toughest times. It's not about having perfect days. It's not about never feeling tired, never feeling overwhelmed, or never wanting to give up. It's about doing it anyway. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who keep going despite their struggles. They're the ones who show up day after day even when they don't feel like it. And when you choose to do that, when you choose to push forward when it's hard, you realize something incredible. You are more capable than you ever gave yourself credit for. So I challenge you to stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. Stop waiting for motivation to strike. Take action now, even if it's just a small step. Take the first step, and then the next, and then the next. Because the path to success is paved by consistent action. It's built by the small, sometimes unnoticed efforts that add up over time. Remember, you're not alone in this. Everyone faces doubt. Everyone faces fear. The difference is that some people choose to act anyway. They choose to keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. You can be that person. The person who chooses to act despite the fear. The person who shows up no matter what. The person who believes in their potential and takes action to make it real. So take that first step today, and then take the next, and the next. Because the world doesn't reward the ones who wait. It rewards the ones who act. You're ready. Now is the time to make it happen. When you truly understand that action is the key to unlocking your potential, you start to see the world in a different way. You begin to understand that every moment is a choice, a chance to either move closer to your dreams or stay stuck in the same place. But here's the powerful truth. Every action you take, no matter how small, is progress. It may not always feel like it in the moment, but that's where the power lies. The people who succeed aren't the ones who make one huge leap forward. They're the ones who commit to small, consistent actions day after day.